You bother watching tape of yesterday at this point, or are you just moving on to?
Yeah, I haven't yet. I'll get to it at some point, but a lot of other things going on.
He wants to do it. So
Yeah.
what is the plan for you next, today, tomorrow, the day after that? What are you going to do?
Just try to wrap things up, get everything in order moving forward, and then take a couple of days and rest, and then get back and get ready for free agency.
What's your message during those interviews to these guys?
I mean, each one is specific to that individual, and we try to make sure that they know the guys are going to be back. We have a plan for you, and this is what we see, and this is what we need moving forward. And position coaches do a great job, and I'm more of an overall theme guy with those position players.
Is there any decisions to be made with your coaching staff? When will you make those?
Over the next couple of days, yeah.
How's the conversation go with Larry from here on out?
Please come back. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't handle the money or any of that stuff, but please come back. I think he's playing as good as anybody, honestly. I mean, you watch what he does week in, week out, and the little things, the blocking and the toughness that he brings to the offensive side of the football. And we missed him twice for huge plays yesterday. I mean, he's just still creating separation. He does it all.
Is that a situation where you can kind of lean on your recruiting skills?
Yeah, probably not. He's pretty wise to the game. He's been pitched about everything on this planet, so I think that he sees right through any of my BS, probably.
Does it mean something to you, though, that
joy this year? Was that how did that make you feel?
What's that?
The fact that Larry felt that he had a lot of joy.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. It's an honor, like I've said all along, it's an honor to work with that guy and watch how he practices and how he works, and just to watch how he interacts with the young players. We brought in the 3 rookie receivers, a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's a consummate professional. He's what you want every player in your roster to be, and so I think, any joy that he derived from, this year, we got twice as much as a coaching staff.
How do you analyze a defense that played kind of poorly early on in the last 3 or 4 games, seemed like took a step forward? Do you have to balance, like, was that a small sample, or do you feel like this team is trending good defensively?
There's definitely progress. The last quarter was much improved. I think when you look at that, it has to rank top 10 around that area in the league as far as the defense we played. And having Patrick get his legs back underneath and playing at a high level obviously helped. And then, young players learning our scheme, getting more reps. I mean, there's a lot of things. But I was really impressed with the effort and the improvement that we showed in that last quarter.
You mentioned many times about people kind of forget you were already a head coach before this, but the fact that you're going to be able to get into your first off season, having been through a whole season, how much further along do you feel like you're going to be on the NFL level at that?
I hope we can take a big step. Last year, you get here and you're trying to keep your head above water, getting all your processes in place, and now you have a chance to fine-tune some of those processes and hopefully figure out what you did good, what you want to change, and aren't spending so much time and just getting it in, and that's exciting to see how much improvement we can make.
you said yesterday David Johnson would be a postseason decision? Is there room in the roster in your offense to have 3 running backs who you want to get touches for the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that remains to be seen. I didn't do a great job of it this year, but like I said, Kenyon got hot, and we wanted to give him a chance to be the guy and feel like he played his best football when he was the guy and got the majority of the carries. But, yeah, I mean, I've had 3 in college. I know it's a different game, but it's just a matter of finding ways to use them.
See Kenyon as your number 1 back next year?
That's another discussion we'll have. I mean, I thought he made big steps. I think with an entire offseason in our system, he has a chance to really, really take off. But we got to sit down with personnel, kind of see where we're at with those 3 guys.
How different is it for you having to look at the cap now? I mean, you have to deal with numbers, not just scholarships.
Yeah, that's not really my strong suit at this point. No, it's. I know that we have a little bit of money to spend, it sounds like, and that's exciting. Steve has been tremendous kind of walking me through those things and helping guide me through that process. But I'm excited about free agency and trying to find some of those pieces that we feel like we may need.
Will you approach any of those discussions about personnel differently this year now that, you've had a year working with with Steve? Is there any different?
Definitely. I just think the comfort level with both of us, being upfront and honest, that's something we've come a long way. Just, hey, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to hurt your feelings. Let's get to the right place on it. I think that's going to help moving forward this offseason in the draft and in free agency.
You've got the number 8 overall pick, and I know it's pretty early to talk about draft, but everyone's been assuming you need a number 1 wideout. Do you need a number 1 wideout?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I like what our wideouts did. I like what our offense did. And I think it's on us as a coaching staff to maximize who we have, regardless of what it is. This is a wideout-heavy draft. There's no doubt there's some great players at that position, but we got to take the best player that makes us better immediately and has the biggest impact for the organization.
How happy were you with the productivity, durability, availability of your offensive line? It kind of came together. A lot of guys of those were injured the last few years.
That was huge. A lot of guys played 16 games for the first time in their careers or in a number of years, and 4 of that 5, I think, started all 16. Tremendous effort by those guys, and they continue to get better and better. And Coach Kugler, I've said it all year, but he creates a great culture in that room. They play hard, they play together, and it made it a lot of fun to be around them.
Speaking of the offensive line, can Mason Cole catch? Does he have hands?
Yeah, he hadn't dropped one yet. We had a couple calls in for him, but we didn't get to him yesterday. But yeah, he's a pretty good athlete.
You said last night that you like the roster where it is. Are there any holes right now that you see that need to be fixed?
That's we'll have those personnel discussions coming up, but overall, looking at like I said, looking at it, I felt like we were competitive, had a chance to win a bunch of games, and this league comes down to 1-score games, and we were in a bunch of them, and we just didn't get over the top, and a lot of that's on me. A lot of that is coaching and being better in situational football, and that's something as a staff we'll all work to be better at.
For Kyler, will you go over stuff from yesterday's game with him pretty quickly, or give him a bit of a break on that?
Yeah, more big picture when we meet today. More big picture of what we feel like at our position group we got to do to take the next step, and had a lot of positives. I mean, the things he did as a rookie quarterback, up there with some of the top rookies to ever do it at that position, and I think we still feel like there's a ton of room for improvement, so that's exciting.
Where do you think you can see the biggest jump for him to next year?
More than anything, just leadership and preparation and all the intangibles. The skill set is phenomenal. I mean, you can see that every week he plays, but just consistency and all those other things off the field that really make the great ones the great players they are.
You talked about learning something yesterday by almost having to be convinced to play with a hurt hammy. How big is that for him?
Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to be at his best when he was out there, and he wasn't. He knew he wasn't, but he wanted to play for his teammates and try to get that win, and he's a great competitor. So for him to sit back in the pocket and not be able to take off, not be able to use his legs, which is a huge part of his game, I couldn't be more impressed, and I know his teammates were as well.
Like talking about where your place is in the coaching arena, I guess, but when you take a step back now that it's over, what do you think you did for college coaches potentially making the jump to the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know if there was any, significance to, that relationship, but I just try to show up and work hard and be consistent and put the guys we have on our roster in a position to be successful, and I think that's the job of any coach, and I have a great appreciation for our roster, and they bought in and worked hard and practiced hard for a college coach that had a losing record, and they could have easily went the other way. So my appreciation at this point is for them and how hard they worked for us.
I know you've talked a lot about putting the players on the field that are going to give you the best chance to win this year. What kind of gap are you looking at, like with guys like Isabella and Keyshawn, compared to maybe those other receivers that they have to make up so they can get on the field?
Once again, just young players learning how to be consistent in everything they do, and what we teach in practice, being able to apply it week in and week out on the field, because at this level, doing your own thing just doesn't work. And no matter how fast you are, how quick you are, how good your hands are, if you don't have a consistent approach and a plan each and every week, I think they found out that it's tough sledding, and that's something. Talent's not an issue, but I think those guys will mature a lot in the offseason and come back a lot better players.
Even though the win total wasn't fantastic, is there a measure of satisfaction taking the offense to where it was statistically a year ago into top 12 by a lot of measures?
Yeah, not as much. I mean, it's about wins and losses. You know, everywhere I've been, it wasn't about offensive stats or anything like that. It's about winning games, and that's something we want to be better at moving forward. But like I said, I appreciate those guys buying into a different offense, and they've been accustomed to some quirkiness to it. I mean, different things that probably got out of their comfort level, but they bought in, they played their tails off, and fought for each other.
You mentioned that the defense was top 10 in some metrics in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Does that mean Vance will be back as defensive coordinator?
Vance will be back.
How much are you able to appreciate just the last year of your life and the changes?
Yeah, it was a bit surreal on that field yesterday. I was there in January, and we had a recruiting breakfast. It was the only time I was near that field, recruiting breakfast there, and then to be on there, coaching the Cardinals against the Rams was pretty surreal about how quickly things can change in a year.
Having Vance coming back, and obviously this team has not been super stable the last few years. Do you think that's a big thing, is having that stability and continuity going into?
I do. I think continuity is huge when you look at the top organizations out there and how they've been able to keep assistant coaches and keep top players and homegrown players. I think that's a big part of it. I'm just really excited to have these players back in the same systems in all 3 phases moving forward in the offseason.
When did you know you wanted to have him back for a second season?
Vance? Yeah, I never wavered in that. His approach, knowing what I know of him and watching him work and the things I saw from the first day I was with him, I knew that I wanted him to be here.
He helped you through the being first year.
Yeah, he's been huge. Any issue I have or thought, I can always bounce it off him, and he's open and honest with things he liked that he did as a head coach and things he'd like to have back. And that's for all the staff. All those guys have a lot more NFL experience than I do, and they've all been great.
Did you ever have to reassure him of that, of like, hey, I'm going to keep you?
No. I think he understood where we were at, and he knew it was going to be a work in progress, and just was really impressed, like I said, with the last quarter and how he stuck with it, and we really started playing solid defense at the end.
Would you agree that this year was kind of like laying the foundation?
I hope so. We would have liked to win more games, but you hope to see the effort and some of those character building things that I felt like we saw late in the season carry over into the next season. A lot of great leadership in that locker room, and I think guys understand what we can be when we play at a high level.
What are the expectations, I guess, then, going into next year between now and start of camp, start of the season? Is it playoffs or bust?
Yeah, I mean, this entire league is playoffs or bust. I think that's every organization goes into the offseason hoping that and sees a bunch of hope, and that's what makes it exciting for players, coaches, and fans.
In what ways, if any, do you think you're a different coach now than you were July 15th?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the biggest thing I took away is just it's so much about the one-score ball games and the little things that make a difference in this league. You can't squander plays. You can't squander situational football, and you have to be on top of your game each and every week.
What surprised you the most about this past year as a whole?
Probably the media requirements. But y'all been great, by the way. I appreciate everybody this year. Y'all been awesome. Happy New Year.
Wait till the playoffs.
Yeah.
How different has that been for you? Like how much were you talking in Texas Tech compared to?
Not as much, but it's great for the game. I understand it. I get why we do it, but it's not this level there.
Sorry, does anyone need any postseason surgeries that you could tell us about?
We came out pretty clean. Yeah, the only one, Chandler has that thumb that may have some work done, but nothing too serious. Just some ligaments. Yeah.
You talked about learning how to kind of build a roster and everything and how you're going to work with Steve. During this year, there was a lot of veterans like Swearinger, Brock, Suggs, Crabtree that were here for a while, didn't work out, and you moved on. Did that kind of change your perspective on when to use veterans to do stopgaps and when you should just build young players?
Yeah, I think it definitely gave us all perspective on how we want this deal to go and the direction we want to take it. And there's definitely a time and place for that. And I think the learning experience for us was just making sure when you do that, you make sure that it is the right time to do it and the right person you're bringing in.
Without maybe linking those names to this question, how important was it to not have negative energy in your locker room?
Yeah, I never felt like we had negative energy, but I think just at times needed youthful energy that was excited about their opportunities, regardless of standing, if you will.
Will you be watching the playoffs?
Not too much, yeah.
You watch commercials during the Super Bowl.
Yes, my favorite part. Yours too? Unless, yeah.
Can you give us any clue about positions of priority for you moving forward in the free agency?
Yeah, we'll have those discussions the next couple of weeks. We always want to get better, always be looking to get better, but specifically, we'll get into that next couple of weeks.
There was just a report that you guys have fired Chris Acuff and Randall McRae. Can you confirm that?
I'm not going to confirm that right now.
It's huge. It's huge. In my experience, the second year in a defense is probably the biggest jump that you make in a progression of a defense, right? So, between year 1 and 2 is to be able to have the same terminology to go into the off season, with a foundation to build on. It makes all the difference. So I know that I don't think that's been the case around here for a few years. So it's huge for young guys. It's huge for all of us, man. We got something to build on to move forward with.
How do you look at your season individually, just coming in here, making an impact?
Yeah, it was personally it was a career year for me. Obviously, personal stats don't necessarily matter in terms of what the big goal is, and that's getting as many wins as possible. But I'm proud of the fight, the way we played, the way I played personally. Obviously there's plays that you wish you had back. It's every game, every year. But proud with the effort, proud with the fight. But we got to continue to get better. I personally got to continue to get better, and just continue to progress. You can never stop moving forward. So, yeah. Go ahead.
How happy were you to play all 16 and play well?
Yeah, that's I've always said that as long as I'm on the field, things will work out. And so, not only play all 16, but to play every single snap this year is a huge goal for me, huge achievement for me. Especially with my history and all the chatter about my health. I think that was able to shut some of that noise up.
I'd have to check, but you might have played the most snaps in the NFL. I know you were up there. Do you know if you did or not?
Not sure. I know.
If that's true. What would that mean?
The injury-prone guy, is the guy who plays the most snaps in the league. So, it is what it is. I'm proud of it. Obviously it's like I said, big achievement for me. Yeah.
Where did you see the biggest growth on the defense the last few weeks?
Biggest
growth.
Execution. Focus, execution. I think the energy of the team was different, especially after the first Rams game. When we came out, felt like super lackadaisical, with low energy. Ever since then, guys were challenged. Guys were pushing to, finish the season right. And so, defensively, I think we took that energy and we locked in, we focused, our execution was extremely solid. And it doesn't take guys making heroic plays for it to be a good defense. It takes guys doing things right consistently to create a good defense. And so that's what we did.
Even though the overall numbers might not look super pretty, based on the way you guys played down the stretch, do you feel like there are more building blocks on this defense than maybe a casual person might notice?
Absolutely. I think, when you look at the last month of the season defensively, we have a lot. I mean, we set a standard. Vance put up a stat before the game of where we were ranking, in the last 3 games, and it was top 5 in everything defensively. And so, to see it tangibly, not just for the older guys, but to have young guys who really haven't probably been in that position before, haven't seen what a top 5 defense looks like, to be a part of that and to tangibly have that is big. It builds confidence. It builds a standard of how you play, how you work, how you prepare, and what the goal is moving forward.
I know continuity of any type's important, but what can Vance specifically bring to this defense to help you guys again in another year?
I mean, he calls great games. If you watch the film, he's constantly putting us in the right calls for what the opposing offense is running, and he's always, I think as the year went on, we were able to find our identity. We were able to figure out what we were good at, and so now it's just building on that. It's building on, we simplified, we got easier, and we figured out, who we are as a defense, what we run week in and week out, and now it's just all the small details. There's a lot of details that year one of an off season you really aren't able to dive deep into because of installation. Guys are learning the terminology, the defensive scheme as a whole instead of the intricate details. So that's what we'll be able to do this off season and take that next step moving forward.
Wasn't the season that I wanted to have, but I feel like with battling the injury and everything else that came along with it, I felt I was just proud of myself in the way that I battled through that, and I felt like I did everything I could each Sunday to help the team win. But same thing goes for myself. It's the exciting part about it is technique-wise, I got a lot better than what I was for my rookie year, and I still have so much more room for improvement, and that's encouraging.
Did that ankle that forced you to miss those 3 games kind of nag all year long?
Yes, and it's not a fun deal, but like I said, I didn't want to miss any more games, and if I can get out there and I can contribute and I can help, I'm going to do it. But to be able to get in the off season and get it back healthy and 100%, I just can't wait to get it right.
In what ways did the ankle limit you?
Just the cutting and the practices during the week, just always having it on your mind, and some of the contact stuff and blocking, you can't recreate that in rehab. And when you get tied up and twisted up, in the last 3 weeks it got rolled up on every game, and it's just not it's not the most what would I say, exciting feeling when it happens. And it's just something that you always have in the back of your mind. You try not to act like it's there, but pain is pain. And so, but like I said, just glad that I made it through and ready to get it back healthy.
In that sense, do you think fans haven't seen really what you can do, a healthy Christian Kirk can do?
I mean, it goes hand in hand. When it's feeling good, and like yesterday it felt good, and I felt like the run after the catch was better for me. This past game, on the screens and stuff like that. The previous couple of weeks just didn't feel like I had anything after the catch, but that's one of the better parts of my game, and to be able to get that back, I think will be better for me.
Some guys talk about how this is their most fun season they've ever had. How much of that comes from Cliff and the way he handles players, relates to players, that type of thing?
A lot of it comes from that, and I think, the good thing about him is he wants us to be a player-ran team, and he doesn't want it to feel like it's a dictatorship. And this locker room is so tight, and each position group is so tight, and we're all intertwined with one another, and we just had fun. And when you do your job and you come in every day with the same mentality, and you don't waver regardless of how many games you're losing, it's exciting to be around everyone, and it's just easy to go to work.
I'm sure you had some but you had an idea of how Kingsbury's offense would work coming in, and then the actual practice of going through. Did anything surprise you about how this offense works, or anything unexpected, I guess?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think the only thing that may have changed more than we had thought was just the use of 12 personnel, and really getting into those formations where we can run the ball. But from being in this offense before, especially in college, I know it doesn't work without a good running game. And I think especially in the back half of the season, we really got our run game going. And when we have ran the ball successfully, those are the games that we have won. And so you just got to find what works for you, and that's, you know, one of the credits I give to Cliff is just, you know, being able to adjust on the run and, you know, seeing what works for us and stick it to it.
You know, today use the phrase learning how to win. Has this team learned how to win, or is that something that's just always a work in progress?
At times, yeah. You know, anytime you go down to Seattle and get a win, especially at the end of the season, that's not easy. You know, I don't care what team you're on. So, yes, you know, we have learned that. We know how it feels. And, you know, that's just something we got to, you know, go into next year, remember how it feels. And something we just got to work towards and make sure we're doing it on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's always helpful, you know, and to have a guy like Vance who's been around and really understands how to work with players and talk to players. I'm grateful for that relationship, and, you know, I think it's only going to be helpful to us.
You look at where this team was just a month ago and some of the frustration and how you finished. What kind of clicked for the defense especially?
You know, I think we just, you know, increased the focus. You know, we talked a lot about, you know, what we wanted to accomplish this last quarter of the season. And, you know, I think we accomplished some of those goals. So, you know, I think that's something we can be proud of, but also something that we can build on for next year.
Confidence, Corey. You think this team gained a little confidence in December? You know, Kingsbury talked about that, and it just sort of bolsters the buy-in. Did you sense that?
Well, I think that, you know, we have such a young team, and you really have to learn how to win. We're in a lot of close games, and we didn't always finish the best way. So, you know, I think just the mere fact of being able to put some complete performances together, that's going to be huge for our confidence moving forward, especially for those young guys, and learning how to win.